Could Arsenal be looking at Ferland Mendy as a potential replacement for Jurrien Timber this season? Yes, people, Wifeboy, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer news video. As always, if you love being kept up to date with daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is a place for you. You have to subscribe down below on my road to 5,000 subscribers. And please let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding Ferland Mendy's potential move to Arsenal. Let's get straight into the tweet brought today by Nico Pierre, and it states this: exclusive, Arsenal tonight have open talks with Real Madrid's Ferland Mendy. Real Madrid would be happy to offload the player, but only for the right price. Very beginning stage, but Arsenal want a step in for Jurrien Timber. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know an awful lot about this source. I've heard Ferland Mendy to Arsenal links from a few journalists, not as mainstream as other ones for sure, so I would take this one with a pinch of salt, but I thought I'd still deliver the news for you guys. Now, Ferland Mendy, of course, a left back at Real Madrid. He doesn't get ample game time, and at times last season, Camavinga was preferred at left back to Ferland Mendy, but he could be a potential option for Arsenal. Now, we know Arsenal are dipping their toe into the left-back market, given Jurrien Timber's unfortunate ACL injury, keeping out for, if not all the season, at least majority of the season, meaning Arsenal should be stepping to sign some kind of defender this window. The fortunate thing is, despite Timber getting injured, he got injured right at the start of the season, meaning that the transfer window is still open for the next 2 weeks. It's slammed shut on September the 1st, but Arsenal have time to address this. It's not like it's October time and we're stuck with the squad we've got. We have got the opportunity to replace Jurrien Timber, at least for this season. So it's all about whether Arsenal do it. Now, my preference would be to sign a player on loan. I think that makes the most possible sense. We don't spend an awful lot of money. We get basically a risk-free situation. We probably just have to pay the loan fee for them, with an option to buy at the end of the season, and it's a win-win for us. We get to try out the player, and then when Jurrien Timber's healthy towards the end of this season, and definitely next season, then we don't even have to keep the player if he doesn't do a good enough job. That's what I would personally do. The problem is, when you look at top quality players, clubs don't like loaning them out. They'd rather sell them, or if they do loan them out, they want an obligation to buy at the end, so that a player is off their books and they get money for him at some point, whether it's this season or next season. That doesn't really fit Arsenal's agenda. We've looked at Cancelo, we've looked at Kyle Walker-Peters, we've looked at Jules Koundé, etc., Benjamin Pavard, and now Ferland Mendy. The players we're looking at are top quality players. They're decent footballers, and the clubs, if they are to lose those players, they don't want to lose them on loan. They'd rather lose them permanently and get money for them up front. It's just how about Arsenal can negotiate this deal? That's got to be the real question over Edu. Now, he's done with the David Raya negotiation. He managed to secure that for only £3 million this summer, with the rest being paid next summer. That will help skirt FFP allegations. Now, with Arsenal looking to sell notable players around the squad, I'm hearing that Nicolas Pepe's on his way out as well. Nuno Tavares potentially gathering interest from Forest, Aston Villa and other clubs. Balogun as well gathering interest from Tottenham, Chelsea, Monaco. So Arsenal players are starting to get sought after as we go down and down later into this transfer window. It means it'll give us more options to spend money. The reason we had to sign David Raya for only £3 million is because we hadn't really sold anyone of note up until then. So to sign David Raya for 25-30 million would really start to knock on the door of potential FFP issues later down the line. And we all know that FFP is a bit of a myth nowadays. Like, Man City have got away with it so many years down the line. Chelsea seems to be getting away with it for God knows how they're able to do that. But it just seems a bit of a fugazi FFP. No one really seems to get punished for it. It seems like it's just a law that doesn't really have any implications behind it. With that being said though, you still don't want to get in the realm of possibility where you can get penalised for financial fair play, because God forbid that 2-3 years later down the line, Arsenal suddenly get brought up on issues from this season, and then you start to get into points deductions and stuff like that. It's just a headache you don't really want surrounding the football club. So Arsenal done the right thing. We signed David Raya on loan to be able to skirt this FFP, and now for any other players we want to bring in, we're going to need to sell first. Now, the good thing is, right, we spent our money without really selling anyone. And why do I say that's a good thing? That means that we've still got players that we can sell. We've still got capital to gain. We've still got assets that we can offload and get money from. Kieran Tierney is still available on the market. Many people are saying, oh, since Timber's injured, surely Tierney's going to stay around. Doesn't seem that way. Arsenal's still willing to offload Tierney. I'm hearing that Celtic are interested in the player to bring him back to Scotland. That could be a good move for them to bring Tierney back. We know obviously he's been doing so well for Celtic before Arsenal signed him a few seasons back. We could get some money for Tierney from there as well. So you're looking at that when you're thinking genuinely, if you look at the players that Arsenal could offload: Kieran Tierney, Balogun, Nuno Tavares, Nicolas Pepe, etc., Rob Holding, Cedric Suarez. When you look at these players Arsenal got, we could get a good 80-90 million from those fringe players. And when you get 80-90 million in the books, of course some won't be spent because it will counteract the money we spent on Kai Havertz, Timber, Raya and Declan Rice, but some could be spent. We know Arsenal of course are looking at potential fullback to replace Jurriën Timber for this season after his unfortunate ACL. I've already said that my preference would be a loan. I do expect Arsenal to go with a cheap alternative there if he is someone to bring in on loan and then an option to buy later on. That could be an option. And I also do believe Arsenal targeting a versatile right forward. I mean, Bukayo Saka is absolutely fantastic, and for me, he's one of the best right wingers in the Premier League. The problem is he hasn't got any real notable backups, meaning that if he gets injured, boy, we're in a bit of trouble. We need someone that can play there. Now, my preference would be Mohamed Kudus. It seems though West Ham are starting to take charge of negotiations there. They're starting to move in with the Kudus deal. They're trying to get personal terms agreed and are trying to agree a fee with Ajax after already having their first bid rejected. So it seems Arsenal not quite going hostile, at least right now, to go in for the Kudus deal as of right now. But there's other options out there. Of course, Michael Olise as well. That's a bit of a shame. He signed his new contract at Crystal Palace. It already seemed like Chelsea were interested in him. That's warded off interest there. Who else is available on the right wing market? As I keep on saying, guys, right? It's all good Arsenal targeting these players, and there is still 2 weeks left. Of course there is, so Arsenal have got time to make any sort of signings they want to. But the longer you wait, the higher prices go, because clubs don't want to sell their players, especially good players, later on in the window because they don't have enough time to replace them. The price keeps going up and up and up the closer you get to deadline day. So if Arsenal do want to sign these top players right now, it seems as though it's better to sign them now than it is later down the line. Because God forbid we get to deadline day and club goes, right, the price going all the way up because we haven't got time to replace them. Just like what happened to Douglas Luiz last summer. Arsenal wanted Douglas Luiz, but they waited until the summer to try and go for it. They waited until deadline day to try and go for it. Aston Villa just kept rejecting bid after bid after bid because they said they had no one to replace Douglas Luiz in this late in the transfer window. So they did not want to send him. Arsenal put in 3 bids and all 3 got rejected. So if you're Arsenal Football Club, it always makes sense. Now, any football club, not even just Arsenal, it always makes sense to get your transfer business done ASAP. I've loved the fact we brought in Rice, Timber and Havertz early. Now, it's a big shame that Timber's injured. One of our new signings, a player that I thought was going to have a really good season at Arsenal this year. He's injured, obviously, long term. He will be out for the majority, if not all of this season. But there is still time to replace him. As I said, there's just under 2 weeks left. We can go out and we can sign a fullback. Inter Milan are interested in Benjamin Pavard. If you want him, go in for it. Obviously, Ferland Mendy, I haven't really heard any other clubs looking at Ferland Mendy right now. Real Madrid are still willing to listen to offers. Of course, they've signed Bellingham this summer, so they won't have an awful lot of money to spend. But with Kylian Mbappe staying at PSG, it seems as though they don't need to sell as many players as they probably would have assumed Real Madrid should they have tried to sign Kylian Mbappe this summer. So look at that way. And if you are Real Madrid, you probably would be willing to listen to offers for Ferland Mendy. And if you're Arsenal Football Club, try and get a fullback in that's competent and try not to spend more than 10-15 million pounds in my opinion. 50 million will be the absolute maximum. I would personally love to bring in a player on a loan deal, maybe like a £5 million loan fee and then an option to buy in the summer, and basically just don't activate the option to buy unless they're a really good football, unless they've done a really good footballer, unless they're a really good footballer, had a really good spell at us this season. Otherwise, don't bother activating it because Timber will come back and we'll have the backup there anyway. That's what I would personally do if I'm Arsenal Football Club. But look, the options there. Let's see what Arsenal do. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section regarding any players you see Arsenal linked to, whether it's Ferland Mendy or anyone else. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who do you want to see Arsenal sign in what's left of this transfer window? And as always, if you want to be kept up to date with daily Arsenal transfer news vids, this is a place to be. Later today, Arsenal play Crystal Palace in their second game of this season. If you want to catch the preview, feel free to check out the video right here. It's available to members only of this channel. So if you want exclusive access to every single preview to Arsenal games this season, click the first link in the description and become a channel member. I'm sure you'll enjoy every single video I produce, whether it's for members only or for the general public. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys all for tuning. I hope to catch you all in my next video. Take care.